Hello everyone, welcome back to another weekly weather video. I thought I would just go over some of the charts for you to give you a more in-depth detail of the weather over the coming week. So I'm going to check the GFS temperature charts and things like that. And this is over a certain amount of days, so I'm not going to give you an exact detail to every single day, but just to give you an idea what we could expect. So the first chart I'm going to take a look at is the GFS max temperature chart, and we can already see those temperatures starting to warm up around areas such as the southeast of Wales, southeast, southwest, parts of the Midlands, Yorkshire and Lincolnshire, and also parts of the tops of Scotland getting those increased elevated temperatures. So temperatures starting to get a couple of degrees above average on an increasingly warm trend, which will spark those chances of thunderstorms. I'll check the radars later on. But this is currently the temperatures. You can see they're more localised and more hotter around some areas, as some remain much cooler. I definitely noticed that the temperature is much more localised around certain areas on certain days. I think this is due to the contrast of both low and high pressure in certain areas dominating at the time, and this will bring cooler temperatures around some areas and hotter temperatures around the others. But just in general, the 15 or more day trend, I can just generally get an idea of what the heat could be in the next about 2 weeks or so. And just by a general, the heat could be cooler in some places while hotter for the most in others. And generally, even at the tops of Scotland up north, they even get some hotspots and temperatures that could exceed 30 degrees prediction. So it's crazy looking at the maps. Look at that. They will just get some hotspots up there, look. So it's crazy. So this is the GFS max temperature done. I don't really need to cover the minimum temperature or normal because you get an idea what we could expect over the next coming time into probably August. Alright, so this is the storm risk map, and already there is a very slight risk looking up north, sort of Lincolnshire way, parts of the southeast. So it's nothing too special. We're not going to see anything, I don't think. But anyway, let's just go through. Okay, so as we go through, there's definitely that isolated risk and even slightly enhanced around Scotland there. I don't think they'll see anything. And a lot of that storm risk, some developing in the southwest, moving it across to the southeast, and that enhanced sort of storm risk looking towards Ireland. So that all moves through. There's some couple of spots there, even some yellow indications up looking sort of southeast and northeast Wales. And then, yeah. And then as we keep going, the storm risk just continues there. Southeast getting clipped by a bit of a storm risk. Then it all starts to move up. All of that storm risk just becoming literally all across the UK. Predominantly all across the UK. Just all this storm risk. Look, some yellow indications to the point where you can't even see the UK. This storm risk over the next like about 100 to 200 hours. Just looking very unsettled for most areas. Even Scotland there, look, high up Scotland, bit of a storm risk. But as I just speed through this map, just a general idea is there is a couple of strong indications of storm risks over the Thursday 23rd into the 24th. And that storm risk just gradually being widespread around most areas. Depends how accurate you want to make it. But I use this one sometimes. It's about 400 hours. This goes to the 1st of August on Friday, this one. Southwesterly push of low pressure will make its way in, creating a bend trough in the jet stream. This will hook up some of that hot air, and that was what is going to trigger those heavier thundery showers and thunderstorms on the weekend and into Monday. So this is just a map showing, so like in the next couple hundred hours, what's going to happen in the jet stream. Just take a look here, because this is what's showing. This is like a wide range forecast for the jet stream. Alright, so I thought I'd introduce a bit of the methods to show what they have to show you, they have to share today. Okay, so already looking on Friday in the morning, we've probably got those potential thunderstorm cells moving up from Yorkshire and sort of moving off the coast and outwards, with Wales seeing that sort of rain. So you're probably wondering, why am I not starting from Wednesday? Well, there's not a lot going on there. I thought I'd just show you the thunderstorm risks. So our main focus seems to be Scotland, Ireland, and Yorkshire, and maybe a bit of Lincolnshire. Look at that, those thunderstorms really starting to develop inland and moving up across the coast. Look, some of those really strong red indications in those cells there. Look, really strong up Scotland. Yeah, you got a couple of them developing, and in through Ireland, them just moving their way off the coast. Even down south here, you might get the odd thunderstorm or two, maybe. That's where I am. But this is just generally looking at yeah, look at this. Okay, so southeast ready for like round what, 200? They're getting their thunderstorms that's starting to form and bring their way up. Okay, so this is just like the big scheme of things now. This is the maps just changing. But look at that. Real, just large, huge amounts of thunderstorms, I think, moving their way through the night. Look at that. Literally most areas will see either heavy rain or potential thunderstorms during the night. Yeah, so big areas of like just rounds and bands of rain just making their way in. Look at that. It all just making their way through. Look. Probably huge thunders. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's updated and bloody hell. I'm sorry, but what is going on here? Wow. Okay, that's a shocker. There's I didn't know it changed, but all across the country we're going to see some widespread thunderstorms, all the way starting on Friday, moving all the way up until Monday and potentially Tuesday. Massive widespread chances of thunderstorms here, so it's crazy. I think I might see a thunderstorm here. I'll try to get some footage and put it on my YouTube, and weather fans, if you go check that out. So yeah, that is crazy. Look at that. This is the Met Office rainfall map. I won't check anything else. Cloud cover, you already know what to expect from these days. This is definitely a low pressure dominance, and I'll explain it to you now. The increase of temperatures over the next couple of days is creating a convergence. You see, there is that southwesterly flow bringing up north, and also that direct straight northerly flow making the way up the British Channel, and that is creating wind convergence, and also the temperature increase is creating that chances of thunderstorms. So massive, widespread. Literally most areas in the UK will see that chances of thunderstorms. So it's huge, and all of this will still probably continue to update, but from what I have now, this is the best I can give you. I'll end it there. So thank you so much for listening to this week's weather update. Do expect a thunderstorm or two, because most areas will see it. It's crazy. The thunderstorms are all going all the way up to the top. So it is a pretty storm-filled weather update. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.